Imagine this. You're sitting in a meeting. Your boss is presenting. And while your mouth is nodding along, saying, yes, totally, great idea, your brain is somewhere else entirely. Maybe you think he's wrong. Maybe you're thinking about lunch. Maybe you're picturing yourself on a beach 10,000 miles away. And that inner world is the last truly private space you own. No one can touch it. No one can take it. But what if that changed? What if one day technology could read exactly what you're thinking? Not guess, not infer. Actually read it, like words printed on a page. This isn't science fiction. This is already in progress. And today we're going to explore what happens to everything. Your relationships, your rights, your identity, when your mind is no longer your own. Throughout human history, the mind has been the one thing no one could take from you. You could lose your money, you could lose your reputation, but your thoughts, when what happens inside your head, that was the final frontier. Sacred, untouchable. René Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." But he couldn't have imagined a world where thinking itself could be broadcast. We all keep things hidden, not because we're evil, but because privacy is a survival instinct. You don't tell anyone 100% of the truth. Not your closest friend, not your partner, sometimes not even yourself. And in a strange way, that's what holds society together. So here's the question worth sitting with. If there were no more secrets, would life be better or worse? The answer is far more complicated than you think. In 2023, scientists at the University of Texas published a study that stopped the world. They used artificial intelligence combined with fMRI brain scans to decode brain activity into language. Not perfectly, but accurately enough to reconstruct the meaning of what someone was thinking. No electrodes drilled into the skull, no surgery, just lie in a scanner and the AI reads the stream of your thoughts. Then there's Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain chip project. In early 2024, the first device was implanted in a living human. His name is Noland Arbaugh, paralyzed from the shoulders down. And for the first time in years, he moved a cursor across a screen, just by thinking. Now, if the brain can send signals out, the next logical step is reading what those signals actually mean. Researchers around the world are building what they call brain-computer interfaces, not just for medical use, for enhancement, for communication, for connection. Meta is investing, Google is researching, China is reportedly testing versions in its military. Mind-reading technology is no longer a question of, is it possible? The real question is, who gets to use it and who gets to control it? Let's play this out. Not 300 years from now, but 30. Mind-reading technology is as common as a smartphone, and here's what that world looks like. Scenario 1, the courtroom. A man is accused of murder. No physical evidence. But a brain scan from that night shows clearly that he intended to kill. The question becomes, is a thought a crime? In every legal system today, you're judged for your actions, not your intentions. But if intentions can be read out loud, that line disappears entirely. Scenario 2. The job interview. The company asks, are you committed to this role long term? You say yes, but your mind says, I'll leave the moment something better comes along. You don't get the job, you didn't do anything wrong, you just thought honestly. Scenario 3, the relationship. Your partner knows exactly what you're thinking at every moment. When you find them annoying, when you glance at someone else on the street, when you say, I'm fine and mean anything but. What does love look like in a world without inner privacy? Scenario 4, the government. A regime can see what every citizen is thinking, who is dissatisfied, who is organizing, who is planning to speak out. George Orwell wrote about the thought police in 1984 as a metaphor, a warning. With brain-reading technology, it stops being a metaphor. This isn't paranoia, this is the logical endpoint of a technology being built right now, without the laws to contain it. But here's the other side of the coin, because not all of this is dark. If no one could lie, wars might end. You can't negotiate peace while secretly planning an attack. You can't make promises you never intend to keep. Diplomacy becomes real. If doctors could read a patient's mind, mental health diagnosis would transform overnight. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, invisible to the eye, impossible to fake on a questionnaire, would finally be seen and treated with precision. If people with autism or those who've lost the ability to speak could be heard directly through their thoughts, that's not a more brutal world. That's a more compassionate one. So the technology itself isn't the villain. The question that actually matters is who controls it, because every tool is neutral until it's in someone's hands. A knife saves lives in a surgeon's hands. It ends them in the wrong ones. The internet connected humanity and radicalized it simultaneously. Mind-reading technology is no different. In the hands of a transparent, accountable democracy, it could be a tool of justice unlike anything we've ever seen. In the hands of an authoritarian regime, it is the most complete instrument of control ever built. And here's what should worry all of us. We are building this technology right now, faster than we're writing the rules to govern it. There's a famous thought experiment in philosophy. If you knew that every single action you took was being recorded and judged, would you live differently? Most people say yes. Think about what that means. It means a lot of what we do. We do because no one is watching. Not because we're good people, but because we're allowed to be imperfect in the dark. Allowed to have ugly thoughts, to feel the wrong things, to be a work in progress without every draft being graded. And maybe, just maybe, that's not a flaw. Maybe we need privacy not to hide who we are, but to become who we are. To experiment, to fail quietly, to grow without an audience judging every step. So the real question isn't, what happens if everyone can read your mind? The real question is, what kind of world do we want to build? A fully transparent world, where no one can lie, but no one can truly be themselves either. Or a world with privacy, where humans keep their dignity, and yes, their shadows too, right now in your head. What do you actually think? Leave it in the comments. I genuinely want to know, and if this video made you stop and think, even for just a moment, that's everything I was going for. Because questions like this don't have right answers, they only have yours. See you in the next one.